Hi everybody, this is Stuart and I'm playing a new game today. It's called DayZ and it's basically a zombie apocalypse game. It's actually a mod of another game called Arma 2, and you actually have to buy Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead, which is an X-Pack, in order to be able to play this mod. So I bought both of those for 30 bucks through Steam. Once you have those, you can download DayZ, which is the name of the mod. There's a couple useful tools called, one is the DayZ Commander, which you can use to kind of launch the game and get updates for the game and things like that. Basically, it's the zombie apocalypse. You don't really know what happens. You just kind of spawn on the shore when you start the game, and it's about a 25 square kilometer area. It's roughly in the shape of a square, the playable area is, and you don't have a map, but you will always spawn on the coast. And the usually you're going to spawn on the southern edge of the land area, occasionally maybe a little bit farther east, but basically you're always going to be near this sea to start off with. So when you start, you're not going to have much to work with. You press G and you can open up your inventory here, and you basically have one bandage, one painkiller, one flashlight, and then a backpack. No gun. They used to give you a gun and they changed that in a recent patch. Over on the bottom right side, you're going to see some of the important indicators here. You have on the very bottom right your food icon, right above that a blood icon, just above that a water icon, and then finally the temperature icon. And basically these are all notifications that you can watch to see if you're in trouble of starving, bleeding out, getting dehydrated, or getting too cold and getting hypothermia or something. As you move around and time passes throughout the game, you'll slowly start to get more hungry and more thirsty. So one of the objectives that you're going to need to accomplish first is find food and water to sustain yourself as you move around this area. The temperature is usually not too much of an issue. I've heard that occasionally at night you can get cold. I think solutions to that would be to move inside, move around a little bit just by walking, or else build a fire somewhere. You can find or scavenge Coke cans, water bottles, cans of food, things like that to sustain your water and food needs. And you're also going to need to find a weapon or a gun to defend yourself against not only the zombies but also against the other survivors, because you're going to be on a server with other people and they'll be probably just about as likely to try to kill you as a zombie would be, because they want to try to take whatever stuff you scavenge and use it for their own to survive. So this is going to be kind of what it looks like when you spawn. My frame rate's just a little bit low right now since I'm running fraps and this game and the mod, but basically the first thing that I always do, you have the option of playing in first person like this, which is kind of what some of the hardcore people say how you should play to make it more realistic, but for myself and probably for other beginners, you're going to want to go in a third person view, which you can do by hitting the enter button on the number pad key. So there you're zoomed out and out of third person. You can also toggle the minus button on the number pad twice in quick succession to kind of either zoom in closer or zoom out. So first you're going to want to kind of take stock of your surroundings. There's no map that you can open up, so you don't really know where you are. There are map resources that you can find on the internet. I'll probably post a link in the comments section. You can also find a map, scavenge a map, basically in different towns, as well as compass, and a GPS I think is also available. But basically your first objectives are going to be to kind of figure out where you are and then figure out how you can get food and water and weapons in order to kind of survive. So probably the easiest way to do this is to find a town. Anytime you're near a town, you're going to want to crouch, which you can do by pressing X like this. The default movement speed is the sprint speed, which you can see I'm doing right now, although I'm in a crouch sprint. You can stand up to straight by pressing C, and then you're sprinting much faster, but you're also much more visible. And that brings up another good point, the ear and the eye icon in the upper right area by the debug monitor. You'll see that right now I have what you call 3 bars of visibility. If I crouch down, it goes down to 2. If I go prone all the way down to my belly, it goes to 0. So basically anytime you're anywhere near a zombie or in a town, you're really going to want to be prone until you get a little bit better and you can figure out exactly when zombies are going to see you and run at you. Also, the ear is how much noise you make. If you're on a road, you're going to make considerably more noise than if you're running through grass. So those are 2 things to be aware of, and those are basically how zombies will see you, and also how other people can hear you, or see you for that matter. Right above that is a debug monitor. This game is an alpha, so it's still a little rough. There's quite a few bugs to be worked out, but I believe they're doing quite a bit of development on it. But on the third from the bottom there, you'll see blood. That's kind of like your life or hit point amount. You start with 12,000, and if you get hungry and don't eat for a long time, or thirsty and don't drink, or if you get hit by a zombie or shot by a player, if you fall off a high area, you'll basically start to bleed. And that's when you need to use your bandage. You can basically right-click on the bandage, and if you click bandage myself, it'll do a little graphic and patch yourself up, and then it'll stop the blood flow. So basically, again, the first thing that you want to do are just kind of look around, figure out where a town is, or a road up to in the hills to maybe to a farm. Farms are really good areas to scavenge at. Start moving in that area. Once you get near the outskirts, crouch down, eventually go to the belly, and then just kind of find a house that you'll be able to scavenge in.